Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy Cash Howard. It's been a while since we actually uploaded any kind of video. So, as you guys can tell by the title, we are going to be showing off a replay of our first league battle for Season 4 of the Worldwide Champions League. So I will say that most of these, I'm going to literally record every single battle for the Worldwide Champions League on their own YouTube, which I'll be posting the link at the bottom in the description after all of my battle related. But essentially, this is essentially my point of view, which I'll usually try not to showcase when I'm recording my videos for that side, because I will be talking more in depth on a little bit on why I chose to do certain things during the battle or why certain pokes were coming in for the battle. So probably the first thing I should probably do is showcase, because you guys don't even know what we drafted. So now I will say one thing. Nobody that we had last season is on the roster. Mainly because most of them were taken during the draft before my turn even came up. And the ones that I would have wanted were taken. The ones that were still around, I didn't really feel like I wanted to bring them back in. Not for any reason. Particularly, it's more like I wanted to try going with some new pokes this time around, as opposed to relying almost on the same pokes every single time. So here you have your New York Nidokings for Season 4 of the league, in the exact order that I drafted them in. So Zygarde 50% was my first draft pick, followed by Volcanion, Raikou, Tangrowth, Scolipede, Azelf, Tentacruel, Diancie, Bronzong, Cobalion, Staraptor, and Blissey. Now, if you're wondering what those little things next to Zygarde, Scolipede, and Cobalion, so one new mechanic that's happening this season that was not available before with the introduction of Sun and Moon are Z moves. Z moves are essentially, as most people can call them, literally, are like a nuke. So you can only do them once per battle. They literally are a nuke of a specific type, and the ones that have the crystal on the picture, as you see there, are the only ones that from my draft are eligible to actually do it. Any poke can actually run them, but we've established, just to be easier for team prepping, that everyone's limited to 3. So instead of trying to build around what if any of these 12 Pokemon had them, you're essentially just limited to 3. And obviously the 3 that everyone chose for their specific drafts are probably their better user for the Z moves. So I did kind of lie. We do have Diancie, which we did have Diancie last season, but we no longer have Megas. There's no Megas this season. So I have standard Diancie. But everything else is essentially new, and you guys did not see them on my team last season. So, going across from that, we're going to go straight into our week 1 battle. We were lucky enough not to draw Lindo first week, as we did last time. Instead, we're getting our buddy Curt. So as you guys see, these are the pokes I went with for my week 1. Azelf, Cobalion, Raikou, Tangrowth, Volcanion, and Zygarde. Curt went with Greninja, Tapu Koko, Darmanitan, Lando, Incarnate, Amoonguss, and Avalugg. Now, I literally picked out 6 pokes, because as always I do have an assistant coach who does like to remain anonymous for reasons I don't know. I literally said, okay, we worked on it. We were working on it at first. We picked out 2 pokes that were going to come in guaranteed to this match, which were Raikou and Tangrowth. And from that point, we weren't talking. So the night before, I was doing some checking based off of what pokes Curt had. I'm like, you know what? These pokes would all work. So my original 6 were Raikou, Tangrowth, Cobalion, Zygarde, Azelf, and Blissey. Then, after I sent that in, my assistant coach said, well, I do like what you're thinking with this, but swapped out Blissey for Volcanion. We're literally going to be doing almost the exact same thing, just slightly modified. And overall, the better feeling was that Volcanion was better for the role than what I had in mind for Blissey. Curt's 3 potential Z pokes Ironically, also the first three lined up, Greninja, Tapu Koko, and Darmanitan, all will hurt no matter which one of them actually is carrying the Z move, no matter which one of them is, which already scared the crap out of me. Tangrowth able to take most of them from Greninja and Koko. Obviously, not from Darm. This became like an entire ordeal. What can I use to beat this and this and that? So, we're like, whatever, let's just kind of roll with it. So, enough about me talking. Let's get into the battle. Our week 1 battle versus the Adelaide Absols. Challenged by Pokemon Trainer Curtis. I see you, Curt. So I lead off with Kusanagi, the Azelf. Nice and shiny Azelf. He leads off with Shinobi, the Greninja. So I go straight into the U-turn because this is literally the worst matchup for Azelf. It's a super effective hit because it's a bug move, and Greninja is part dark. So I leave out, go into Gabe, the Volcanion, in the event that he goes for a water move. So he goes straight for the spikes. He does realize I don't have Tentacruel, who is my only remover of hazards. Wow. So he does withdraw his Greninja. Out comes out Spore Horror, the Amoonguss. Now, realistically, I would have went into... Actually, I couldn't at this point. I had to attack anyway. So I go for the Steam Eruption. I thought about swapping out at this point. I decided to stay in. So I just went straight just to get some more damage in. So I go now for Flamethrower. Now, Amoonguss, remember, he ate the Oka Berry, does weaken the fire damage. Goes for the Spore. I could have went into Tangrowth. Tangrowth would have been immune to Spore. And I do have a move that could hit Amoonguss, but there's a reason I decided to stay in. So Curt withdraws Amoonguss, goes into Landorus, the Landorus. So the reason I decided to stay in is because I'm carrying Sleep Talk. So shoutouts to my boy Orin the Suicune. So I go for the Sleep Talk, I get Flamethrower. I much rather preferred Steam Eruption, but we do a decent chunk of damage regardless. But we're not going to stay in. This is a part ground, probably has a ground move. So I go into Azelf, goes for the Earth Power. We do Levitate, so it doesn't affect us. So I did predict correctly on that. Now I went for Psychic, mainly because I felt he wouldn't go into Greninja, because I already revealed U-turn and U-turn did so much before. But ironically, now he brings out the Greninja. And I don't know if at this point he guessed that I was Choice Scarfed. So I do swap out, go into Ramen Jr. in the event that he goes for the Dark Pulse. He does. I did take damage, as you guys saw, from the spikes. Goes for the Dark Pulse. At this point, I wasn't thinking he was carrying Ice Beam, but he proved me wrong, and there it is. So I go straight for the Leaf Storm. I do land it, ironically. It's super effective. Does lower my special attack by 2, but will be enough that Greninja does fall. So Tapu Koko activates the Electric Terrain, which does increase his electric moves. He goes for Hidden Power Ice, I'm guessing. So I honestly wasn't expecting him to get a hit in, but just in case, I did click Sludge Bomb. That's a decent chunk. Probably would have done more had I not dropped my special attack by 2 with that Leaf Storm. But it is what it is. Ramen Jr. the Tangrowth goes down. Shout out to my boy Chris Cobain. So he does U-turn. He's obviously going to recall his Tapu Koko. Darmanitan comes out. So at this point I removed one of the big threats I was afraid of. Still got 2 of them left. So I go into Azelf. Because I feel like I'm faster. I don't know if this would actually kill him one hit though. So I go for Psychic. It does live. He goes for the U-turn. At this point I was kind of scared. We were able to live the hit, which is actually very good for us. He goes into Titanic the Avalugg. So we switch out. We do need Azelf to still fulfill a role. We go back into Gabe, the Volcanion. Does take damage from the spikes. Goes for the Avalanche. We do resist it. Based off of both of our typing. The fire and water. We do recover with the leftovers. So at this point, I go for the Sleep Talk again. Hopefully getting either of the two moves. Get Flamethrower, which is the one I pretty much wanted. Does a decent amount to Avalok. He does reveal Earthquake. I literally went and looked up to see if this thing carried Earthquake. I knew it wasn't really going to kill me outright. That I could live one or two. Which is why I chose to just stay in and attack it. Mind you, it was pretty much by luck that I was able to actually get a Flamethrower. So, the Electric Terrain does vanish from the field. We're actually able to wake up and we get the Flamethrower again. Should be enough to get the kill on Avalok, which it is. It was a crit, but the crit didn't really matter there. The Avalok goes down. Right now we're at a 5-3. Two of the big threats for potential Z moves users are still available. So, back comes out the Electric Surge, which kind of bugs me a little bit because it makes Tapu Koko's electric moves stronger. So I go into Raijin, the Raikou. I'm expecting him to Thunderbolt. Especially since I had a Volcanion out. He instead goes for Wild Charge, not carrying the special electric type, but with a physical. Raikou not really fit to take physical hits. Ironically, Tangrowth would have been able to take it. But my assumption that I no longer needed it for the fight, probably coming back to bite me in the behind. The Tapu Koko goes for the Dazzling Gleam, avoiding the use of a Wild Charge. So that will be enough, and it knocks out our Raijin from actually even doing anything. I was going to try to show off a strat with that, but it is what it is. Go right back out into Azelf. Azelf able to actually outspeed Tapu Koko. And we do get the kill. Tapu Koko goes down. So there goes the second of the three threats that I was afraid of. So we do swap out. Go back into our boy Gabe. Because we're not fearing a Spore. So instead he goes for Giga Drain. Does a decent chunk to us because it is not resisted. It's actually a neutral hit because of our water typing. We do recover with the leftovers. We go straight for the Flamethrower. As I said, at this point, if he does want to click Spore, I wouldn't really mind. I would play the Sleep Talk game again and test my luck. He goes for Giga Drain again. Gets us down to the red. We do recover a little bit, not enough to go back into the yellow. The Electric Terrain is actually finally gone, but nothing on both of our sides would take advantage of that anyway. I go for the Flamethrower again, which would be enough, and it is. 4 Hordeomungus goes down. Currently at a 4-1 situation. And believe it or not, as much as you would think that this is kind of easy peasy for me, Darmanitan is still a big threat. And I don't know if he's carrying the D move. I probably missed any kind of reading that it told me it wasn't. I probably wasn't paying attention. So he gets damage from the recoil from Flare Blitz, which you're able to get resist it. And able to live the hit. We go for the Steam Eruption, get the kill. Darm goes down. So that's a 4-0 victory for us. Straight off week 1. Which is good for us morale-wise. GG's to Curt. Curt, good friend of mine. Does give me crap because I don't know if I'm actually ever pronouncing his team name right or wrong. But I will hear from him whether it is or not. As always, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you guys are going to be rooting for us to do better this time around. We did get 3rd place, as you guys remember, in Season 3. Hopefully, maybe win it all? Highly doubt it, but who knows. So, we're currently 1-0. Not bad at all. next week, I believe, we'll be fighting Liam, coach of the London Lux Rays, and that will be an interesting fight. Thank you guys for watching. As I said, check out below. I'm gonna have the link to the Worldwide Champions League YouTube page. You guys can watch all the battles for week 1 of season 4. And as I said, you can watch it. I'm gonna, even though this week, I believe this week I did record my side. Starting from week 2, I'm gonna obviously start recording the opposite side for all of my battles, so you guys can watch firsthand some of the and get my thoughts on why I'm doing things from my point of view. But as always, thank you guys for so much for watching. I do appreciate it, and I hope to catch you guys later. Peace.